you may or may not remember a video I did back in November talking about the new show Willow that was coming out on Disney Plus, which was supposedly going to be a sequel to the 1988 movie starring Val Kilmer and Warwick Davis, which I happen to enjoy. It was one of my go-to movies when I was younger. It was a good fantasy, good dark characters, good storyline, was kind of set in like a D&D type world, and it had Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer was the star of the movie as far as I'm concerned. Well, they made this show here on Disney Plus. It had an 8-episode first season, and guess what? It has been canceled and will no longer get a second season. They were talking for a while that it was going to get a second season, but it doesn't look like it. And who could have guessed that it wasn't going to get a second season? I mean, before the show even aired, the writer was on the news, on social media, saying that the show itself was about a lesbian relationship and not about Willow. So you put a lesbian relationship in front and foremost in this show and put the character, the main character who the show was named after, in the background. Well, hey, your show got canceled. Who would have thought? Who knew? Who knew? But apparently some other things happened in this show that I didn't know about, because according to this article report, Lucasfilm cancels Disney Plus Willow series that was used to try to normalize sodomy. Now, I had to look this up because I hadn't heard anything about this. I did not watch the show. I could not put myself through it. Once I heard about what the show was going to be about, I just couldn't put myself through it. So I didn't watch it. And then when I saw this article about normalizing sodomy, now, to me, I thought that sodomy referred to anal sex, okay? But apparently it refers to any type of non-procreation sexual engagement. Okay, so I did not know this. If you have sex, but you have sex with the knowledge that you're doing it to not have a baby, okay, then you're performing sodomy. Who knew? Who knew? You learn something new every day. So apparently, you look further down in this article, Erin Kellerman, whatever her name is. Erin Kellerman, who was one of the stars of this and also played Jade, one of the lesbians. And you may or may not recognize her from such hits as The Falcon and Winter Soldier and Solo. I'm being sarcastic here because both of those sucked. Solo lost money. It was the first Star Wars movie ever to lose money and not make back its budget. Falcon and the Winter Soldier was a woke piece of crap that really did such disservice to the characters, and it was terrible. And of course now she's been in Willow, the show that's been canceled after one season. But according to her, she played Jade in the series. I think it's so beautifully written. It's been so beautifully created. It's not a story where they're worried about being gay. It's not a story where they're hypersexualized. It's just two people being in love. The gender is secondary. They're just in love with each other. She continued, I think it's really beautiful and also needed. It's needed. I think for anybody that is struggling with realizing that they're gay or knows somebody that's realizing that they're gay, having this normalized representation is just so important. Apparently it wasn't very important because nobody watched your show. And I have a feeling that anybody that is realizing that they're gay or is trying to hide that they're gay or struggling with coming to terms that they're gay doesn't need this piece of crap show to give them the will to come out of the closet. I'm pretty sure there's so many other things that would help bolster their confidence to be able to come out of the closet. Not this woke garbage piece of crap show, okay? Now, I don't know who watched this, but not many people did. It never showed up on the Nielsen ratings. It was below so many other shows Somehow it has a 66% on Rotten Tomatoes, and of course the critics loved it with an 83%. I'm pretty sure that 66% is Disney's their thing that they usually do with their bots and everything, just to try to boost a show's numbers. It's even worse on IMDb, which it's sitting at a 5.6%. And like I said, these 7,044 votes, 10 votes. It's probably this is probably bots. This is probably something that Disney has done in order to bolster their numbers, because not many people watch this. Really, I'm telling you, nobody watched this according to Nielsen ratings. The series never ranked on Nielsen's top 10 streaming original programs list, and it was below some other ones. Anyway, I don't know where it's at, but yeah, it was below some weird shows that I've never even heard of. Okay, it was just not watched. It was not needed, and now that Disney's losing so much money, especially with Ant-Man and the Wasp having tanked here, not made back its money, and despite what they've said, they're like, oh, it made its money. It's fine. Everything's fine. No, it's not. It hasn't made back its money. It may have made over $200 million, but that's just the shooting budget, okay? That's how much they had to pay to make the movie. That doesn't include marketing. That doesn't include the amount of money that they have to give to the theaters, okay? The theaters don't show these movies for free, all right? The theaters get to keep some of the money, all right? So if you see that a movie's made $450 million, it does not mean that the studio gets that entire $450 million. I've tried to explain that to people, but they don't seem to get it. So anyway, now that Disney is in trouble, they're trying to cut the fat, basically, and these woke shows are going to have to go away. Lucasfilm, all they've got right now is The Mandalorian, and from what I've heard, Mandalorian season 3 is not good. It's basically it's basically there to sell Baby Yoda toys. Okay, that's it. They should have known better, but they didn't. When this show first came out, they should have just released it for its own merits and seen what people thought about it. They did not have to put out there before the show even aired that this show focused on her lesbian relationship and not on the Willow character. The writer of this said that it just felt so natural and so organic to make this show about a lesbian relationship. Well, it may have felt natural to you, buddy, but it certainly didn't feel natural to the people that were supposedly going to watch it. That's Jonathan Kasdan, by the way. Hey, it says right here, Jonathan Kasdan says sequel series Central Lesbian Romance keeps alive that spirit of moving the fantasy genre into a contemporary sound. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You don't have to have a lesbian or a gay or a transsexual romance to move anything or to keep anything contemporary. You can tell a good story and not have to have any of those triggers, or I shouldn't say triggers, not have to have any of those check boxes in that movie or show or video game or whatever. The show should be able to exist on its own merits. Like Top Gun. They never told us any of those characters were gay. They might have been. Okay? Rooster in Top Gun might have been gay. Don't know. Don't care. They didn't have to announce it to the world that they were putting a gay guy in an F-18. It was unnecessary. Didn't have to be done. So that's probably what was the downfall of Willow, and I'm glad it got canceled. I really do, because they really did a disservice to the Willow character by doing this show. If the show had just focused on Willow, it would have been much better. It should have focused on Willow because the show was named Willow and was supposedly going to be a sequel to the movie, which I grew up with and I thought was good. I hope you liked the video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll talk to you later.